Hello everybody. In this video I want to walk through real quick how we can calculate a confidence interval using Excel. So, the first thing that we need to do is we need to remember our confidence interval equation, and it's simply x bar, which is our sample mean, we'll do, plus or minus our t-crit times the standard error. Okay, so we've got a couple of things that we need to work on. We need to know like what level our confidence level is. Let me move this over here, and we have this problem where we're looking for a 90% confidence interval. So let's put at our confidence level is going to be equal to 0.9. And we want then, that would mean that our alpha is equal to 0.1. So if we were to repeat this study many, many times, like let's say 1,000,000 times of collecting 13 people, and we calculated their means, having a 90% confidence level means that we are 90% confident, or 90% of the time these intervals would be capturing the true mean, and 10% of the time, or alpha, is the percent of the time that we are going to be missing the true means. Okay, so if we want to find the mean, we need to find x bar. Let's do x bar. That's our sample mean. And we can just type in average, and we can highlight our data. All right, so that can give us our mean. Now, we need the standard error, but we don't quite have the standard error yet. The first thing that we need to do is we need to get our sample standard deviation. So we can just say stdev.s for the standard deviation of the sample, and we grab our sample. All right, so there's our sample. We're going to need our sample size. So if you want to do this, we can do count A, and it just counts every cell that we highlight, and it has us at 13. Now, if we want to calculate the standard error, which equals the standard deviation divided by the square root of our, lowercase n, of our sample size. Okay, so we can now do this as equaling our standard deviation divided by the square root of the sample size, and we can hit enter, and now we've got our standard error. Great, so we've got x bar, we've got our standard error, we need our t-critical. Okay, so in order to do the t-crit, we are going to do I think it's inv dot 2t. We need two things. We need the alpha, or we need the confidence level that we're at, or the alpha. Let me think about that. I think it's the alpha level. We'll check it here in just a second. So we'll put in the, alpha level, and then the degrees of freedom. And we need, so degrees of freedom is very simple to calculate. It is just equal to n minus 1, our sample size minus 1. So we're just going to do our degrees, or sample size 13 minus 1 is 12. All right, so let's get our t-crit now. Let's double click on this guy. So we'll do equals t.inv.toTail. Then we need, the probability that we're interested in. So we'll do 0.1, and we'll do comma, and then the degrees of freedom. I think we need 13. Whoops, no, not 13, 12. We just calculated it. And we want actually the absolute value of this. Oh, it already gives us the absolute value. Great. So it calculates out our t-critical value. So if we want to calculate this, I have the answer down here already. It should be between 13.58 and 9.95. So we can type that this is the lower, and this is the upper value of our confidence interval. So if we go back up to our confidence interval equation, for our lower value, we're going to do x bar minus t-critical times the standard error. I'll hit enter. And we got our 13.58, hooray. And then for the next one, we can do x bar plus the t-critical times the standard error. And I'll hit enter, we got a 19.95. Sometimes too, you'll see this equation written as x bar plus or minus the margin of error, MOE, margin of error. If we calculate out the margin of error, we can do that really easily. Give me just a second. We'll have the margin of error equals, and all it is, I'll type in what it equals here. It's the t-crit times the standard error. And so we can have just this t-critical times the standard error. And then it makes this calculation even easier. We don't have to do this multiplication. We can just do minus the margin of error. And we can do plus the margin of error. And there you go. So in Excel, that's how you can go through and calculate out your all of your calculations in order to calculate out your margin of error. So yet another tool for you, and good luck on calculating these out.